This lesson is on ideas and how they relate to writing. Please watch for that blue keyword arrow as you go through the lesson. It's going to be making quick appearances and then disappearing to give you a heads up on where some of your cue words are. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to define the lesson's cue words. You'll explain why ideas is the first writing trait. You'll explain how a writer uses idea in his or her paper. And you'll explain how idea development will change depending on audience and writing purpose. Your cue words are 6+1 writing traits, ideas, audience, purpose, and genre. You need to have definitions for these words in your notes by the end of the lesson. You also need to write down these concepts, what good writers do with ideas, and how idea development changes across genres. Here's a cue word, 6+1 writing traits. This is a collection of traits that good writing has. Your main 6 are ideas, organization, voice, word choice, sentence fluency, and conventions. The +1 is your presentation. Individually, these traits don't do much to make sense, but when you put them together, you get a complete picture that helps your audience understand your message. This brings us to ideas, another keyword, which is the main concept of and all of the ideas in a paper that develop it. Essentially, ideas is your main idea and everything that shows your reader what that main idea is. Looking back at our picture, ideas becomes the foundation of our writing. We need a central idea to hold our paper together, and that is why ideas is the first trait in the 6+1 writing traits. Good writers find a topic and then focus that topic so that it will work for the audience and purpose of their writing. Then they develop that topic by using details that are relevant to the idea they're working on. The goal is to give your audience a complete picture of your idea. Now, that does change depending on the audience and purpose for writing. Audience is who you are writing for. So how you write will change depending on who you're writing for, because when you're writing for me, I expect different things than when you're texting your friends. Audience determines some of how we write. Purpose also determines how we write. There is a big difference between how we write to persuade and how we write to inform. And because of this, we will have a difference in how you write depending on genre, which is a broad category of writing such as narrative, essay, or poetry. Taking a look a little bit at what that looks like, if I were going to write a story about a lost dog, that would be my central idea. So I would need to come up with the type of detail categories that my readers will need to understand this. I might choose the conflict of the story, the setting, the plot, and the characters to help me understand. But if I were writing an essay on life at the end of World War I, my details are going to be different. I would choose things like the pros and cons, the impact on the US, and maybe even a segment on daily life. Again, if I were writing a poem and that topic was on changes, I'd want to include some comparisons to help people understand what I mean, the types of changes since there's different types of change, imagery to paint a picture for my reader, and my feelings about this topic. All of these details change dependent on the type of writing you're doing. Essentially, ideas make up the content of the piece of writing. They are the heart of the message, and therefore they have to be well developed or the writing will fall apart. Now that you have heard my take on the writing traits ideas, you need to complete the compare and contrast assignment that's attached to this lesson on Google Classroom. What you're going to do is find another video on writing traits ideas and then determine which one helped you understand this concept best and why.